I'm 27 and I've yet to be in a romantic relationship. I've definitely had my moments of feeling ashamed behind or questioned if there was something wrong with me for this fact. But it was only a couple years ago that I actually started to feel like I could be in a relationship, that I could be a successful participant in a healthy relationship with someone else. It suddenly made all the sense in the world why I wouldn't have been able to even healthily be in a relationship before the age of 25. Here's why I'm grateful that I didn't. My name is Cheyenne, and these are my insights. Reason number one is being single throughout my adolescence and my 20s has given me the chance to realize that I do not want to be a mother. I used to think that I wanted to have like 5 kids, and I just imagined having like this big tight knit family that like went on vacations and did all these different things together and just was a very close, tight group that just represented excellence wherever they went. I now understand that this desire to create a big, tight knit family came from a place of lack. It's almost like I wanted to make up for what I always wished I had in the family I was born into. Another component to this is I wanted to be the mother to my children that I always wished that I had. I now understand that this is a very selfish reason to have children. Children are not here to heal their parents. They are not responsible for that. And I'm really glad that I came to that realization before entering a relationship because of a lack of understanding of what I truly want out of life. I fear that I would have maybe gotten married too young and then ended up having children. That's the next step that we are socialized to pursue after getting married. You just have kids. And I have this inclination that I would have ended up doing that and I would have just been a mother and like that would have just been my life. I'm deeply grateful that I had the opportunity to spend my adolescence and early 20s and up until now, like figuring out who I am, what I want out of life, and what I do want, and most importantly, what I don't want. Like, even though I've had my moments of feeling, I've had my moments of questioning, like, what this path is that I'm embarking on, just in general, in life in general. I can't imagine trying to figure out who I am and simultaneous trying to nurture and raise a child. So I'm really grateful that I will never have to and have never had to. Reason number two is I get the privilege of entering a relationship as an adult with a better understanding of who I am. I didn't really start feeling like a woman until I turned 25, maybe. I used to always feel like I identified more with being a girl. Like I felt almost like calling myself a woman felt uncomfortable or out of place or just like simply not the case yet. And I don't know if this is a matter of emotionally emotional maturity or what, but I can't imagine having entered a relationship before feeling mature enough to really handle it. And it's not even like my external circumstances have changed that much. I just think on a spiritual, emotional, mental level, I've just had the opportunity to mature in my solitude without really worrying about having to navigate growth and changing while also trying to maintain a relationship. Like I've had the opportunity to grow, change, and evolve in my solitude rather than not in the confines of a relationship, but kind of in within the confines of a relationship. Like all I have to worry about right now is myself, and I get to be self-centered and focus on my own goals, desires, and making my life the way I want it to be, the way I dream of. I'm really grateful that when I enter my first relationship, it'll be with the deepest level of understanding of myself that I've ever experienced. Because I've had that time to grow, evolve, change, and really come into understanding of who I am and what I want out of my life. And that's an ever continuing, ever evolving process. I know for sure that when I do enter my first relationship, it'll be out of a place of readiness, excitement, and just wanting to share my life with someone. Being single up to this point has also given me the opportunity to better understand what my values are and how I want to experience love. I've experienced enough, I guess, disrespect and unkind treatment to know that I'm completely unwilling to accept that going forward in my life. Like, I just feel like I've had to go through certain experiences to know what it feels like to be treated any other way than I deserve to be treated. Um, yeah, I just feel like I had to go through certain things that are going to be important for me when I do enter a romantic relationship, just or even just dating in general. Like, it doesn't even have to be like a relationship, just like before I enter the dating world. I'm glad that I have these tools. Healthy love isn't something that was modeled for me. I witnessed very traditional roles being played out, and being single for as long as I have has given me the opportunity to realize that I don't want to repeat these things. I'm not someone who wants to take on the burden of being a homemaker on my own. Obviously, when I move out and live in my own place, like, that's my place. Like, I'm gonna pour my soul into creating that space and making it a sanctuary for myself. But when I do eventually live with a partner, I am absolutely unwilling to accept anything outside of sharing responsibilities. I think it should be a fair balance. Like, if you cook, then I'll do this. If I'm cleaning the bathroom this week, you'll clean it the next week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or we can share, or we can both do stuff. Like, I don't want to be in the type of relationship where it's like I'm cooking and cleaning and then you take out the trash and you do this. Like, no, I'm not interested in that. I watched that dynamic play out growing up, and it's just not fair. And even in my current living situation, there's not a shared responsibility when it comes to certain tasks, when it comes to most tasks. So I'm just not willing to put up with that going forward, especially in a chosen relationship like a romantic partnership. I just know what it feels like to feel an imbalance, and I'm not for that. The next point is probably one of my favorite points that I have been able to experience. Um, it's that being single, and not even so much being single, but just being in my solitude and really strengthening my relationship with myself has given me the opportunity to become way more comfortable in my sexuality than I've ever been. Like, I now accept myself and love myself for my sensuality and for my sexuality and for like my womanhood. I'm no longer in a place in my life where I feel ashamed for sexual desires or for being a sensual person. Like, I am just so glad that I don't have to carry that burden anymore. There was a point in my life where I used to feel like it was something that I was burdened by, that was like hanging over my head, that was like a curse or like something like a sin or like, and then like something just clicked in me one day, like, this is very human, it's very natural on a plain basic biological level. Like, it's very normal, especially as a woman who goes through four four phases of a cycle every single month. Like, there's just certain phases in your cycle where you are more inclined to have sexual desires, and that alone is enough of a reason to just accept it. Like, oh my gosh, when I was a Christian, I remember I would be like, oh my God, God, please get these feelings away. Like, I don't want to feel these feelings. Like, these are sinful. I know I'm doing something wrong. Like, I know this is like against your will and like all this stuff. Thank goodness I released myself from that. Like, I don't even know if it was like, I don't know. One day it just clicked. Like, wait, why am I, why am I suppressing these things? Like, obviously, we know self control is necessary and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just feeling these desires and being interested in sex. Let's just be plain. Let's just say it plainly. And being like, oh my gosh, like I hope this passes. Like, oh, I don't want to give in to anything. Like, I don't want to, like, I'm just so glad I don't have to be burdened by that anymore, especially something so natural. And I've never been able to understand why sex was treated as this like dirty thing. Like, obviously, there's risks, like with anything, but I'm so glad I don't have to think about it as this dirty, taboo, nasty, like thing anymore. And I'm glad I get to go into a relationship not suppressing anything, and more importantly, that I won't end up with someone who feels that way, that thinks that women should behave in a certain type of way when it comes to their sexuality and things like that. Like, ill. I'm so good on that. Like, no slut shaming, no suppressive stuff. Like, I'm just no. I'm not interested in that. Um, I hope I'm coming across in the way that I want to in this video, especially on that topic. Like, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm like open to discussion, but keep it respectful, please. I'm like not here for the traditional stuff when it comes to being in a relationship. Like, I'm heterosexual, I'm into men. So I'm not here for that. That's like not cool, and I'm not interested in that. I'm not trying to attract that. Keep that away from me. I'm just, yeah. Traditional in some areas, yes, but in others, no. I'm so glad that I've outgrown ideals of purity culture. Like, and the crazy thing about that is that I don't think I've ever fully grasped onto it or believed in any of that. I'm not someone who grew up going to church or anything, but I started going to church when I was maybe 15 or 16, and it was somewhat of an escape from what I was going through in my family. So I started feeling like I needed to adopt certain ideals and beliefs if I was going to be a good Christian, and they never really quite fit, but it took me a long time to realize that. I'm still really grateful for the community that church provided for me at the time, but I'm glad that I don't feel indebted to those beliefs anymore. Let's move on to our next point. When I do enter into my first relationship, I will be doing it with no previous relationship baggage. Don't get me wrong, I do have some family stuff that I need to be working through, and that will probably be a lifelong journey of working through. But I'm just glad that on a romantic level that I don't have to enter into my first relationship with any like ex drama or like, oh, I have a bad ex or a toxic ex. Like, I don't have to worry about any of that. And that I'm very grateful for. I just won't be making the type of mistakes that I think I would be if I had entered a relationship when I was in my early 20s or freaking in high school, God forbid. Like, whoa, I can't imagine it. I remember I used to say, I don't think I can handle a relationship because I think it would destroy me to have my heart broken. I remember thinking that and saying that in high school. And it's just crazy because I guess I had some level of wisdom around that. These are going to get a little more rapid fire because I said the bulk of what I want to say. But the next point is when I do enter a relationship for the first time, it'll be because I feel ready, not because I want to have a boyfriend just because I'm lonely. Don't get me wrong. Your girl is lonely, okay? Like, I have my moments of being like, damn, like, if only I had a partner. Like, just to do life with, someone to feel safe with, just that you know, like, you could go to, that's your person. Um, I do have my moments, and I do feel ready for a relationship because I want that in my life. Like, I definitely have my lonely moments. But my desire for a romantic partnership comes from wanting support and love from an external source. Because I do think I do a pretty good job of validating myself, loving myself, and taking care of myself. But there is a need, an inherent need that we have to receive those things from an external source. Like, you can't just be your own person forever. And I'm like so okay with that. Like, I've passed the point of feeling like I have to soldier through this life all on my own. Like, no, I know I don't have to do that. Even though I do want to be in a relationship, I don't want that to be the best part of my life. Like, I want that to be an addition to everything else. Like, ideally, like the type of life I want a life that's creative, that's full of love, that's fun, surrounded by supportive people, friends, mentors. Like, I want everything. I want it all. And then I also want to be in a romantic relationship with someone. Like, I want it all. It's not just the relationship, it's not just the friends, it's not just the career. It's all of it. The idea that I can have it all has been like hitting me over the head for the last couple years. Like, I know I don't have to choose, and that's like the best thing that has come out of me being single all these years. Like, I've never even had the chance to settle. It's just hasn't been an option, and part of that feels like some type of like protection. I always ask myself, like, am I allowed to say that? Like, is that come across arrogant or anything? But like, I just feel like my being single this whole time is a gift. Like, there are times where I wished I had gotten my first relationship over with already, but just for the experience. But it's like, if the experiences were going to be negative or not last, then what's the point? Like, obviously every relationship isn't going to last, but I'm 27 now, and if I'd been in a relationship when I was in high school, chances are I wouldn't be with that person anymore. So I'd rather have been single this whole time than be collecting exes, you know? And I'm not saying that in a judgmental way. I'm just saying, for me, I'm glad that I didn't really waste my time with anyone because I'm a different person. I'm a completely different person than I was in high school. Like, completely different. And I'm grateful for that. It's not that I was a bad person or anything. It's just I grew up. My last point of this discussion is I know how to be alone, and it doesn't make me question my worth anymore. Because I've never been in a relationship or really received that much romantic attention, I've had to develop a sense of worth that didn't come from an external source. I just had to come to an understanding that I'm worthy, that I'm worthy of love. Like, point blank. Like, we are born worthy of love. Like, there's no qualifiers or anything like that. And I haven't let the lack of love in my life, even on a familial level, like, I haven't let that teach me that a lack of love means that you are unworthy of it, or a lack of respect, or a lack of kindness, like any of those things. And I've really committed to caring for myself, loving myself, and treating myself well. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I do have my days where I'm like, I don't feel like taking care of myself anymore. Like, I don't want to do this by myself anymore. But I realized that I need to be in the habit of it before I can accept it from anyone else. Like, it's going to be so much easier for me to accept love from my partner and from my future friends because I've given it to myself all these years. I know what I deserve and I know what I'm worth, and it makes me really happy that I have the privilege of entering into the next phase of my life with all these lessons that I've learned and with all these beliefs that I've come to about myself, these positive beliefs that I've come to about myself. I did not realize I had so much to say on this topic before I started writing my notes down. It's really interesting to sit down and compartmentalize passing thoughts. Like, I remember it just came to me one day, like, hey, like, I'm kind of glad I've never been in a relationship, especially because of how much I've grown over the last couple years. I want to make it clear that I haven't always felt these things. There was a point where I used to feel sad, very sad that I hadn't yet been in a relationship. But it's because of what being in a relationship used to mean to me. Like, to me, it used to mean someone picked you, someone chose you, someone wanted you. And obviously, that's still true, but I don't let it doesn't determine my worth or my value to me anymore. Like, obviously, I'm past that. And I'm in a place where it's a desire for companionship and a desire to share my life with someone and to be supported. And I'm definitely like not dating or anything yet. Like, there's so many goals I want to accomplish, and it's not that you have to be in a perfect place in life in order to be in a relationship, but I just know what I want. I would like to be moved out into my own place before I enter a relationship. That's just very important to me. And yeah, I have my goals. I have my very concrete things that I want to manifest. It took me getting to a place of feeling ready for a relationship to realize why it's taken so long or why it hasn't happened yet, and I couldn't be more grateful. Let me know your thoughts on this topic. I know it can be somewhat controversial because a lot of people settle down in their 20s. I'm glad that wasn't my path. If you resonate with anything in today's video or you have anything to share about your own personal journey, let us know in the comments. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.